Hello, good morning. Welcome to QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back again on another edition of your morning program after the weekend break. So, we are back again to give you, that morning dose. Are you ready to conquer your day? As you know, this is the program where we highlight, we discuss, and we invite guests on the program to review the papers with us. It's important we also allow you to send your messages on our social media handles for your contribution. Yeah, so I am Ibrahim Abalde and I am with Ma'am Nabuka. Good morning, Ma'am Nabu.
Good morning, Abalde. How are you?
Very good. How was your weekend?
It was really nice. Of course, hard work on Saturday, but Sunday was a good rest. It was a good rest day, so it was a fine weekend.
Interesting. Mr. Mboj, it's our newspaper review guest. Mr. Mboj, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bala.
How are you? How have you been? How was your weekend?
Well, it was Sangmari on Saturday. I'm sure to some people the feast just passes them by. It doesn't mean much. But to others, it means something.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even notice.
I know that.
There was a public holiday declared for it, actually.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we need to start discussing that. Public holidays on Saturdays, it doesn't make sense to me.
For some people, it's a working day, Saturday.
It's a working day.
Yeah, but majority of the people, it's not a working day.
For many others, it's a working day. So it makes a difference with them. So there was that. Also, my sister-in-law delivered. So there was an addition, new life, interesting in the family.
That's wonderful.
But again, was it on Thursday, a friend of mine died. So it's sort of
a mixture of both joy and
sorrow. You see what life is about.
It's a cycle of life, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it was quite a weekend.
Well, the community of Mandinari in Darussalam, for us, this, it's really a sorrowful weekend for us. We lost two of our community members at sea. They drowned. Wanda Muruba, IK, and a friend called Baifal. Last week on Saturday evening, they were in my house and we had a meeting. They are organizing a tournament, so they were looking for jerseys donations. And on Friday, when we closed from work, Modu sent me a voice message in connection with that. I sent and he replied. So on Saturday morning, he died. They drowned at the Mandinaring River. There were 6 of them, but 2 of them died, unfortunately. So it wasn't really a very nice weekend for us around that end.
But what were they doing?
They went swimming.
They just went swimming?
They went swimming.
Most
of these youngsters, when they are preparing for a Nawetan, before their game, they'll all go to the riverside, swim, maybe clean their bodies and get ready for the game. It's sort of a tradition now in football, sort of. So they were supposed to be buried today, but, yesterday they said the bodies cannot wait longer. So they have to do what they have to do. We went on that rain. We buried them around 7, 8 p.m. So it was really a very sorrowful day for people of Mandinaring Darussalam. But such is life.
Such is life. That's how fast it comes at you.
Yes, so we'll take a look at the African Code. From the Code, then we'll do the newspaper review with Mr. Momodu Mboj, and we'll also be talking to the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Dr. Habibatu Drame, on performance analysis of the 2026 WAS. Of course, Ibrahim Ojalo, the President of Livestock Owners Association, will also be talking about challenges and way forward for livestock owners in the Gambia. Yes, on that note, Ma'am Nabu, let's take a look at the code.
Okay, today our African proverb, we have, don't blame the goat for keeping the beard if the only barber in the village is a lion. That's pretty straightforward, is it not?
Don't blame the goat for keeping the beard if the only barber in the village is a lion.
If I had a problem and the only solution available is a threat to my life, no for them. You wouldn't
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, Mr. Mboy, can you dig in, please?
Yes, I think it's about choices and circumstance.
Right.
When people take certain decisions, be careful. Why? Do you know the context, as it were, in which they take certain decisions? It's easy to blame them for this or blame them for that. How come they're not doing this? How come they're not doing
That's
that?
right. That's right.
But maybe you haven't seen what's behind. You haven't seen the lion, really.
You know, like that's like a lot of the times, people who are looking in from the outside, they say things like, "So make on Monday like that. If it was me, I would have done that. I would have."
Yeah.
But it's not you.
It's not you.
It's not you. You don't know what's in there. You know
You
what
don't
they're
know
trying to
what's-
avoid
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yes, but as an individual, your own situation will also come. So we will see how you are going to maneuver certain situations. You might look at Mr. Mboy and be like, oh, Mr. Mboy dal ni ag ni ag ni. Wait until when you are in Mr. Mboy's shoes. That's the time you know, okay.
And this is the thing, though. You can never be.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
there's something else. It doesn't end there, though. There's this thing we call empathy, which is different from sympathy. Imagining it. So that some people do say that people who are not imaginative really cannot be moral.
Yeah. That's
So you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they cannot imagine being in your shoes, as it were. There's no basic empathy. They can only judge things from what they feel, what they see, and that sort of thing. They cannot imagine the other.
Yeah.
So how can you be moral, where morality is about my relationship with people, isn't it? So, absolutely. So you imagine it.
Yeah.
You imagine being.
You can
with
have a
someone.
narrow
It
perspective
will help. That's
when
it.
when it comes to things like that, you know, putting yourself in other people's shoes,
That's it.
having different perspectives that are different from your own, you know. That's how you get to understand people. Otherwise, it's just judgment. I would have done it this way, I would have done it that way. You wouldn't have, because it's not you.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't experienced it. You haven't been in this person's shoes. You don't know what options are available for them. So, you know,
Yeah.
understanding empathy, very important.
Yeah, but I mean, society doesn't think like that. You know, we have the blame syndrome sometimes. We blame people without even understanding, you know, their situations. Probably a person is from a different situation, and for you viewing it from the outside, you might think, I mean, it's that easy, you know. Like I said earlier, it's difficult until you get there. Let's take a look at football matches, for example. If you are outside supporting someone playing football, you will be seeing the best angles to put the ball. But when you are in there, it will be difficult for you to execute that, you know. So I think it's part of humans are like that, Mr. Mboy. I am pretty sure you and I, we've also blamed people, you know, without even knowing what their situation is.
Oh yes, I wouldn't be sure whether I will necessarily call it blame, only that we've attributed certain motives to certain actions. You know what I mean? It could be in neutral terms, not necessarily that they are wrong. So we always making judgment.
Yeah.
You just cannot take away judgment from human beings.
Yes,
You know
that's
what I mean?
what
Any
I said.
situation I am in, I have to form a judgment. Yeah?
Exactly.
But judgment is, we try to distinguish it from another term, a related term called judgmentalism, which is slightly different. Judgmentalism, you are always giving sort of petty objections, always making petty objections to things, judging everything by stereotypes.
Yeah.
As it were, there's no individual thinking, there's no thinking within it at all.
Yeah.
It's just the conventional categories you just take and apply to situations. There's no thinking at all. So that kind of judgmentalism, whatever somebody does, no, you know what is better, that kind of thing. Yes, we don't want that. But again, you have to show good judgment in situations before you get the right answers or the right outcomes, or before you can dispense justice.
Exactly.
You have to act justly. In doing so, you have to think, you know, in a certain way to be just.
Yeah.
So you got to show judgment. So this is the balance we're trying to keep. Judgment is good, is serious. Judgmentalism is petty.
I think
That's the distinction one is trying to draw out here.
I agree 100%, and also, you know, the key thing here is you have the emotional intelligence to realize that I need to give this person the benefit of the doubt and open pathways for conversations to be had about, you know, what you're judging them for.
Yeah, so tell us what you
this is very
think.
important.
Tell us
Very
what you
important.
think about the African code. You can send your messages. At this point, we'll take a short break and acknowledge our sponsors. After that, we'll look at the newspapers. We'll be back.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits. I am Gina Mariam Basbite, and this is Sunyubus.
We will never forget Gina Bass. I mean, she made everybody proud in the Gambia, you know, a national icon, you know. So let's take a look at the stories on the newspapers. We have the Foroya newspaper. The main headline reads, we will refrain from criticizing others, negotiators say, as UDP-led coalition signed MOU. Mr. Momodou Mbodj, I mean, we've seen, you know, there's another, it's like we have different coalitions now. I mean, the UDP coalition, we have the NPP coalition, it's a coalition, and of course we also have the UMC's coalition, or Talib's coalitions.
The coalition 2026
Yes, yes.
became,
So we've
he
seen
was
that.
chosen as the
Yeah.
flag bearer.
Flag bearer.
Yeah.
So inevitably, we thought this, that you'll have a few coalitions, really, in the end. But which ones would be consequential? We do not know yet, really. So, yeah, so going back to this, we will refrain from
so they will
criticizing
refrain from
others.
criticizing others. Probably they
I don't
shouldn't.
know what it means.
Maybe they shouldn't insult. They shouldn't throw shots. Probably this is what they're
There's
talking
also
about.
conversations around how the coalition is just put together to unseat Barrow instead of being ideologically aligned as well. There's conversations around that. Maybe it could be. You know, we don't know the content of the paper, but this is something that is being talked about as well.
Yes, what you just said. If you're talking about insults and that sort of thing, of course, nobody wants that. But here, criticize, this time is a bit funny, because it may mean that to sort of perhaps say nasty things just for the sake of it,
Yeah.
you know, finding fault with other people. But proper criticism, just as earlier we talked about the constructive stuff, that's where you form judgment. You can come and say, candidate A or B, this is his or her view, you know, regarding national development and all of that. But I think it is wrong because of A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And that's criticism. So it just depends on what we are talking about. The constructive stuff, well, that's what we want, the electorate. Listen to brilliant people, you know, it's making your case, building your arguments and that sort of thing. That is what we want. You know, so therefore, when you see that the other person's agenda, you don't think that that will be good for the country, you have to say it. And then give us your views and telling us why that shouldn't be, it should be yours, and how you've rectified, if you like, the faults that you've identified in the other person's case. So
Well-
that is healthy.
well, you
but
see-
the insults, that's true, insult, hate speech, as
Yeah,
they
I think
call
we
it,
should
oh,
go
that's
beyond
all
that.
rubbish. Oh,
We should go beyond
well,
that.
with human beings, you
You
know,
can't really
some
avoid
people will
those.
always fall short.
Yeah.
So when some people fall short, the rest of us, what do we do? How do we handle it? To just bury our heads in the sand and say that, oh, nobody should do it. Oh, let's move away from that. When it happens, what do? You see, these mechanisms of conflict resolution, that's really what a strong society looks like.
That's true.
What do you do so that you wouldn't have that knee-jerk reaction, but a measured response? You've thought about it in a mature way, not just kicking because you felt the urge. as it were.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, we have, I mean, too many coalitions now. But I mean, they know the only way they can, you know, be relevant December 5th is when they all come together. But it's like now it is segmented to different coalition groups. You know, Mr. Mboj, are you a little confident that, I mean, these people, they would be able to unseat President Barrow, considering the structure?
It is not my business whether they can unseat President Barrow or not. That's really not my business. My business is how the coalitions are being formed. And now it seems as if coalition formation is part of our politics, especially from 2016. Even before that, we've had NAT and that sort of thing. Because what, 24 parties?
So one party?
There are 24 parties. So what do you expect? So obviously they are not all of equal weight. It can never be like that. So in the end, you're going to have the big ones, yes, attracting the smaller ones, the satellites, as I call them. You know, that's small. They may be of some symbolic significance, but electorally, I'm not sure how significant they can be. Only the symbolism. Or we've got a 10-party coalition, stuff like that. But when you look at the numbers, it doesn't tell you much. So you're bound to have stuff like this, maybe 2 or 3 coalitions, you know, the big ones, and then we'll see. Maybe the 4th or 5th, you might have that, but I think they'll be irrelevant.
Well, the thing is here, I've seen the UDP coalition. I mean, there are parties that, you know, to me, they are not relevant anymore. They won't be able to make big differences. Just, you know, individuals portraying to be a party or runs a party at some point. Because these people sometimes, I mean, most of them are not even known.
I mean, when it gets to a point like this, no number is too small. I think you would...
Yes. But, I mean, at some point, too, numbers are very important in our politics when you look at it.
Well, it's a democracy. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
That is why you've got this debate between candidate-led coalitions or party-led coalitions. I mean, there's a reason why those who sort of went for the party-led, why they did that, and those who went for candidate-led. So yes, it's always about numbers. It doesn't matter how we dress it, up. We would like to think that it's about ideology and competence, even individual competence, and that doesn't necessarily depend on numbers. You know, you could come from a small party, but again, you could be very good.
Yeah.
So we've seen coalitions where they've chosen leaders, not from the largest party of the coalition, but a smaller one, but the individual made the difference. So these things could happen. So numbers matter, but again, other qualities matter as well, depending on what is the task at hand, depending on what is the challenge, I suppose.
Well, that's it. I mean,
the public will get to decide.
Yeah.
So
we've also seen former President Yahya Jammeh's ex-wife, Tuti Fall. She made her first appearance, I mean, the media in the United States of America. I think there was, you know, a fundraising event. She gave a speech. How many of you know, I mean, Jammeh was married before Zainab? Do you know? Kids of today won't know that. Our first lady used to be Tuti Fall, you know, then. So, I mean, Mr. Mamadou Mboj, we can still move on. I mean, the government renews focus on English, math after WAS results. I mean, the results are out, and the minister will be here later to
the results
help
were
us.
out. It was quite interesting because You know, I was discussing this with Adi over the weekend, and out of the 19,000 candidates that sat for the exams, only 1,500, a little bit over that, made 5 credits, including maths and English, which is very concerning to me. It's 19,000 people.
Wow.
Absolutely. We'll have to go into the details. So one was thinking about it, but had not gone into the details because we must have a program on that, particularly on drive time.
Yeah.
To go a number crunch, as it were, and look at how we compare with others. Because this is about West Africa, senior secondary certificate examination, and see how we compare. And even how does it compare to last year's result?
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's sort of fleshing it out. I think you're going to have the minister next.
We will have her over here.
So we're fleshing it out to really get the context. I think that's when we can truly evaluate what this is. When you take the headline story, out of 19,000, only 1,500, that looks bad.
It looks bad.
Until you look at the context, then you might adjust your judgment. Remember the judgment we were talking about?
Yeah.
So that is why I will suspend judgment.
Yeah,
And go behind the headline and see what's been going on in the past few years. Have a comparative study of the years and what's been going on.
And that's really what the conversation is about, because the issue is they're highlighting math and English being a problem, time after time after time, year after year after year, and wondering where the problem is and what the solution could be.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. That's it. Is it the way that we teach these subjects?
Yeah.
Who are the teachers? For a very long time,
That's a very
we've been
important
very, very
question.
worried about the quality of teachers. They've done some surveys, and there were huge shortcomings, as it were. So, but this is it. Something like education, it is so precious.
Yeah.
Because it takes time.
Time.
Everything takes time. You know, when you're learning, just imagine how long it took. And the administration, especially if you have an institution where afterwards they lost their good manners, the way things were run. So we're beginning to restore, as it were, the ship. But it's taking time for it to show the results that we want, the effects. So this is the problem I think that we are in, really. All of our institutions, really, when you look at them, they all need reform, you know.
So I don't know if English or mathematics have been a problem in the Gambia for a long time. You know,
not sure what
in
you
fact,
mean by that.
in fact, with several discussions with students, they'll tell me, some of them, mathematics, I know I am not going to pass maths.
Every country in the world, everywhere in the world is exactly the same.
With mathematics?
With mathematics. A good number of people tell you, oh, I'm just hopeless at this, I'm just hopeless at that. Everybody knows that. So mathematics, in many ways, occupies a certain distinction in sort of intellectual activity, as it were. Brilliant mathematicians are seen as, I don't know, geniuses of some sort, you know what I mean? So, yes, there's something about mathematics. A good number of us really just can't get it.
Yeah, and in the Gambia, you know, when you don't have math and you don't have English, gaining university admission is basically impossible.
You know, my mathematics was not good during my high school days.
Tell me about it.
I don't know what prompted me to go and do further maths again.
What?
I did further maths. I was doing maths. Then I chose further maths again. I don't know who convinced me to do that. Can you imagine?
I lost 4 years of my life trying to repeat mathematics again and again and again, just to have access to the university. It's one of my biggest regrets to this day. And
mathematics is a problem.
There's something about it. It's funny. It's a funny
And
kind of thing.
some people will tell you it's easy.
It's easy. Some people are just so gifted in it. At high school, we had people who scored 1. That's like the best you can possibly score in maths. And then 9 English language.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
Yes.
We had lots of people
can you
like
see
that.
the problem?
I don't know about English, but for mathematics, do you think it's something that needs to be reassessed when it comes to people gaining admission to universities?
I do not know what you mean by that. Here, you got to have maths and English.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the board.
Across the board.
Not quite like that in Britain. What they ask you for in your A-level, what they used to call it, depends on what subject you want to do.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
There are certain subjects, maths, not so much.
Yeah, in fact,
but we're evaluating differently.
Yeah,
we're making it more difficult because we have limited spaces.
Yeah, I think that is the right thing to do.
Britain is completely different.
That is the right thing to do.
Completely different.
You know, you have to focus on subjects that the person wants to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Understand?
So there are certain degree courses. They look at your A-level results, but you don't necessarily need to get mathematics to get through. It just depends on what it is. It just depends on what you want to do.
That's exactly my
point.
But
here, it's across the board.
It's across the board,
automatic, everybody. But there are good reasons why things are different here. To be quite honest, I think there are good reasons.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Point newspaper. The main headline reads, Senegalese national reportedly dies after fall in drug law enforcement agency raid.
Ooh, unfortunate. We wait for the details.
Yeah, we need to find
with things like this,
why,
you need to find out why.
how it happened.
Context is
you know,
important.
we cannot just believe the person, fell and died like that. You understand? It happened, the case of Mandinering, where the young man was chased, and they said the same situation. So when the coroner did their observations and findings, they found out that there were blunt force trauma on the young man.
So this is the key now. That headline. Can you just say the headline again, please?
Yeah. So what the headline reads? It says Senegalese national reportedly dies after fall in drug law enforcement agency raid.
Okay, reportedly.
Reportedly. So now you would assume
who reported that.
Yeah.
So
an autopsy
yes,
needs
let's
to be
just
done.
get all the details. You know, wherever you have transparency, then it's easier, isn't it, for people to believe you, what you say. So we just need to know what the details are. What are the circumstances of this death?
So that we cannot establish until and unless there is an investigation. When the investigation is done, then we would be able to know what really happened.
But that was a drug raid, was it?
Yes. I just don't want, people to assume or start pointing fingers. Gambians are killing Senegalese. I mean, the death of Ibu Latrikunda Jaman. I've seen a lot of social media comments from Senegal that, Gambians, pointing out to all Gambians. That incident that happened, even Gambians were not happy with what happened. So they shouldn't just paint everybody in black.
Gambians are killing more Gambians when you look at the numbers that have died in recent years and just see.
I mean, for things like that, comments are going to take place anyway. I think what Mr. Woj said is important. Transparency will change a lot. You know, when there's transparency, there's evidence, there's accountability, and the rest is just noise, background noise.
That's it. You know.
So you said Gambians are killing more Gambians.
Absolutely. Look at the figures. So this has nothing to do with being a Senegalese or being that. It's just that this particular character was engaged in this particular activity and something else happened. You just take the individual case and judge it.
Yeah.
You really cannot extrapolate anything bigger from that single case. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not good thinking there. So let's not get too excited, and just focus on the details.
Yeah. So let's still move on. We still have the Point newspaper. I think today the writings are very small. I cannot even see it properly. Dr. Cisse says opposition parties have common ideology beyond removing Barrow.
They have or they do
They
not
don't,
have?
yeah.
Dr. Cisse said opposition parties have no common ideology, rather, beyond removing Barrow. Yeah, so we are talking about the division, segmenting the parties to different coalition groups. That can be a bit problem for the coalitions.
I mean,
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
This is how democracy works.
It's willing alliances they made at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
You know, they stepped back, looked at the table. This is what's best for
And
me, and they
everybody
decided to sign for it.
It's
You
a
went to
political-
where you think you
It's
can
a
belong.
political calculation. Absolutely. Everybody, they're all doing their calculations.
Yes, yeah.
And then where you think that your interest would be best served, you join that one. Sometimes, though, just as you calculate, you can miscalculate. You can get it wrong. So this is the key. So you do not expect them to have a common platform of ideology. No, our politics is not that sophisticated. It doesn't work like that. Personalities matter more.
Yeah.
That is why you'll always have a clash. You have different personalities. There is no glue. That ideological glue hasn't quite emerged yet.
Right.
They'll all tell you the same things. Development, education, health, they all sound alike. Really? So when they come to office, what would be the difference?
Friends, yeah.
Maybe the difference would be in competence in how you handle the affairs of state. So how do you judge that? I do not know.
Yeah.
How do you judge that? Each person must have its own criteria and judge things. But sort of this is the key. This is how democracy works. We have 24 parties, so you're bound to have different ideas circulating and different alliances. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's healthy.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's healthy, like you said. I mean, each person you go to where you think you belong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you want? All of them like cattle, to be herded, as it were. No, I don't like too much of herd mentality. I want a vibrant ecosystem, sort of lots of debates and sparkling ideas and wherever the dynamism leads us to, fine.
It's reminding
4
me.
coalitions, fine.
Yeah.
5, fine.
It's reminding me of a discussion we once had about an African proverb we did here. I think Mr. Boch was here and he was talking about how it's good when we come together to drive something forward, but it's also very important that individually we have ideas that can push that
Absolutely.
movement. So differences are not always a bad thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
So internally, as a group, you must have fierce debates.
Yeah.
Then you establish whatever principle.
That's how growth is had.
Once you establish the principle, then you come as a unit to enforce it. But
The party-
internal debate is
The party
important.
that I am not seeing, it's Bacheli's party.
Gap.
Yes, where is Gap? 90 days. I've not been seeing him. He's silent.
It's probably existing somewhere in the IEC record.
Yes, but we are not. They are not manifesting anything. Yeah, we are not seeing any activity. They are not part of any coalition. You know. Yeah. So let's
Maybe
see.
we'll hear from them sooner or later.
Exactly. So Barrow inaugurates governor's office, lays foundation stone for LRR, the governor's office in the URR.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it needed an upgrade. You know. I visited the location several times, you know. With the former governor, Omar Khan, we had a lot of chit-chat and, you know, food in that house. But it really needed an upgrade, and finally it happened.
It's a beautiful building, too.
Yeah, so, you know, there is not much to talk about as far as it's the governor's.
I'm sure the governor would love it very much.
Of course. Yeah, so let's talk about NAVEX announces, load shedding as power demand hits 140 megawatts. So another one is coming. You know, a few days back, the Banjulians were complaining about that, the blackout, that happened for a longer period of hours. So, I don't know. How was the power at your end, Ma'am Nabu?
We don't really get power cuts. You know, I live just around here, the pipeline area next to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. It's very rare that we experience power cuts. So, I
Yes,
think,
I suppose some areas are privileged because of
I'm a
certain
in a very
sort of
privileged
national
spot, so-
reasons.
when you have key national institutions.
Yeah,
like
my
that,
end
there,
too, it's very rare for there to be power cuts. Even if you're watching TV, when the power goes off, don't move. It will come back. You know, so
Not my end. in Bruceby. Oh, unfortunately, we're not sort of near any significant, as it were, installation or whatever. So yeah, so you get periodic cuts of every day. It may not go for long, but it just keeps on off, and stuff like that. It's quite annoying, but you try to adapt to it and then.
Yes, so that is what it is. I mean, why am I not seeing the writings today? Mr. Boy, am I getting old? Am I getting old, Mr. Boy?
Well, you used to wear glasses. I wonder whether that's got anything to do with
No,
it.
those were glasses for fashion, not
Really?
not bifocal or
I can't
subfocal.
believe that Balde would descend
So
to that
temporarily,
level.
CAF allowed, I mean, the Gambia to use the national stadium. It's just, for a moment and see how it goes. The stadium have really gotten a very nice face. I've seen a lot of changes there. It's long overdue, and we'll be playing our home games very soon, Mr. Mamadou Mbodj.
If it is really that nice as you said, why only temporary? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
This kind of provisional, it's a provisional green light for international.
Provisional. yeah.
Why provisional if it is that good? What's going on? What remains? Or is this sort of procedural? It's all part of the procedures that they do after you've been suspended. Before you're welcome back, they will give you a provisional and then see how things go. If it is procedural, I understand. But again, if it is not, still there are one or two things that remain. That's why it's only provisional, not simply just giving you the green light. It will be interesting to know what this provisional means.
According to
what it means.
To what is said, okay, there should be a testing phase, whether this is going to work or not going to work.
That's my procedural argument. Okay, yes. The procedural stuff, you have to follow it. It's important that you follow procedure. This is what we say in everything we do, follow procedure. Yes, if it is procedural, of course, they should. If that is the case, then yes.
Like the other time I asked Minister, the youth minister here, Bakari, I said, why can't we get a new stadium? He said, a new stadium is very expensive, but thinking of renovating that stadium, the money that was injected in that stadium, how about if you add an amount of money? Can't you get us a new stadium around Fonyi?
Where they're going to have the new stadium, that would be a different debate. The idea that a new stadium is expensive, you don't even need to say it. It's obvious that that sort of thing would be expensive. Well, but again, if you think that the nation needs it, then that's when you prioritize and then you mobilize whatever resources you need to do. I just cannot simply say, well, things are expensive, therefore you don't do anything. It doesn't work like that, especially in our economy. Oh my God, we don't have money, we don't have resources, we don't have much. So as a leader, I have to be imaginative in how do I get resources. Unfortunately, this is really the task before any public official. You know what I mean? To constantly drum on about, we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have this, we don't have that. He said, we know that. That's it. How do you become resourceful? When you are resource-strapped, then how do you become resourceful? So it's a huge challenge on whoever leads an institution or leads anything. It's a massive challenge, really, to make a difference, a measurable, tangible difference. In the end, it's really very difficult.
Yeah, so Mr. Mbodj, thank you for talking to us on QTV this morning. We'll now allow you to go upstairs and prepare for your drive time.
Drive time,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's where we'll be crunching the WAS results, the numbers.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to listen to that, Yeah, so viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll be talking to Ibrahima Ojalo, President, National Livestock Owners Association. On that note, we'll be back.
Join the biggest network with the cheapest tariff in the Gambia and enjoy crystal clear calls and super fast internet at the cheapest tariff only with QCell. Rush now and grab your free QCell SIM card today from any of our care centers near you. QCell, the biggest network with the cheapest tariff. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome to the QCell 5G Gaming Hub, powered by ultra-fast 5G connectivity from QCell, the fastest network in the Gambia. No lag, no limits, just pure performance. Multiple PlayStations, Xbox racing with full car wheel control, and immersive virtual reality experiences that put you inside the action. Play the biggest titles: FIFA, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Street Fighter 6, Forza, and many more. Experience gaming like never before. The QCell 5G Gaming Center is open weekdays from 12 p.m. and weekends from 11 a.m. Closed Tuesdays. For bookings and inquiries, call 381-0008. The QCell 5G Gaming Hub. Not just gaming. This is the ultimate gaming experience.
Q Money is changing the game with mobile money payment. Now, you can pay your QCell mobile broadband plan faster, easier, and way more convenient with your Q Money wallet. Just open the Q Money app or dial *323#. Select option 4 to buy or pay your broadband plan in seconds. No stress, no lines, no last-minute panic. Whether you're streaming your favorite shows, browsing the web, or working from home, stay connected without missing a beat. Stay connected the easy way with QMoney's QCell mobile broadband payments anytime, anywhere. For more information, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Senior Carpet. Terms and conditions apply.
In December 2026, Gambians head to the polls to choose a president, and history may hang in the balance. As the day draws near, every week, right up to Decision Day, QTV will lead the political conversation. And nobody breaks it down like QTV. Our team of experts will help you understand the results as QTV brings you Decision 2026. A weekly program dissecting the issues, driving the debate, and giving Gambians a front row seat to the hottest topics for the defining election of our time. Hear differing views, put forward and challenged, manifestos dissected and explained. Stay informed, stay engaged. Stay tuned to QTV for everything you need to know about this year's election. Decision 2026, Thursdays at 9 p.m. on
Yeah, so we are back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's head to the other segment of this program. We have Ibrahim Ojalo. He is the president of the National Livestock Owners Association, NALUA. We'll be discussing farmers' hardest conflict and pressure on grazing land and livestock corridors. Ibrahim, it's good to have you on this program. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bande, and then good morning, QTV, and then also good morning to all the audience who are listening to this program this morning. So, thank you.
For us to really know definitely the president of the Livestock Owners Association, it's present in the studio. There should have been 2 gallons of sour milk here, cattle milk. Huh?
Yeah, so
yes,
I think one day we'll have that.
Absolutely.
No
At least we place it here and start
Actually,
enjoying that milk.
That's right.
Yeah, so let's talk about this thing. What are the main challenges between the herders and, the farmers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bande. When we talk about normal herding, it's a process that is actually done, especially in West and Central Africa. Actually, people go for herding, and in the evening, they bring back their herds. So in that particular exercise, they have a particular areas that are referred to as cattle grazing area or cattle tracks. Cattle tracks are the road that the animal use to go for their grazing. And then we have been observing at this particular moment, there have been a lot of conflict that is happening between the crop and livestock farmers. And then these are traditional ways of managing livestock, and they also need areas, and they also need land to exercise that particular activity. But then it's been a problem in West Africa here. The National Livestock Owners with the Minister of Agriculture, the department, are working very hard to make sure we try to maintain this cattle grazing area and cattle tracks in the Gambia, because we don't want to see conflict happening between crop and livestock farmers. At the end of the day, we are all Gambians and we are all farmers. And I think that's very important as a national body. Every year we go out for sensitization, which we conducted about one week ago. We went to visit all the regions with collaboration with the P2RS project. Actually, our main objective was to meet the regional authority, that's the governor, the police, the alcalos, the chief, the farmers themselves, and discuss about the issue of addressing conflict between crop and livestock farmers in this country.
So at the moment, do you have grazing lands that are specific to these animals or not?
Yeah, we have grazing land. If you look at the Nomantic history in the Gambia, especially cattle grazing area and cattle tracks in the Gambia, almost, if you go to the provinces, every village have their own grazing land or their cattle tracks. But now, these are the grazing land and cattle tracks that are encroached by farmers, by residential, or by other purposes. And this is why we have in that conflict, because animal population are also increasing. And then the land of the Gambia is not increasing, and then people needs towards that land is increasing, and this is why the conflict is coming. Places that were assigned for animal grazing land, that were assigned for animal crossing or cattle tracks, are now being used for farming, for orchard, and even for residential purpose. And this is where we have the conflict. Our main objective is to make sure we try to prevent and then map the cattle tracks and have convention so that at the end of the day, we don't have the problem like that.
Well, I don't know if the Livestock Owners Association have been doing you know, their homework very well, because now the population is growing and people are building everywhere. Urbanization, it can also affect you know, the lives of cattle in the Gambia as well. I don't know, what type of resolution do you people have to make sure there is peace and the cattle also will have a place where they will be able to graze without being a problem?
Anyway, when we talk about the Livestock Owners Association, the department is older than the Livestock Owners Association. Government institution like the ministry is also older than. We are about 10 years old, and then we have been making a lot of noise, try to also to prevent and even try to get back some of our cattle tracks. We have been doing a lot. Some of the activity we are doing is to reach to the community. Mr. Bande discuss with them. They know the cattle tracks, the community at their level. And then we try it again to make sure, because there are a lot of cattle tracks that we have, that we are encouraging, and now we get it back. So the association, we're doing a lot. If you see we are not having problems in the Gambia, like other West African countries, maybe one of the reasons is the effort of the association. We have been working with FAO. We have what we call the convention, that we have a particular community, the alcalo, the chief, the area council, the governor, all of them signed to that convention. And so that at the end of the day, nobody can encroach. And again, those cattle tracks are mapped. And now projects are also following the same. So our role as the association, we are advocating. We try to reach to relevant partners, to government institutions. Sometimes government, they are there as a government, but you need to inform them, you need to sensitize them, you need to tell the government actually what is on the ground. And this is what actually we are doing. And I think definitely there's a lot of impact coming towards that particular area. Again, we are losing more, but we are also gaining more. As time continues, Mr. Bande, our objective is to get proper cattle tracks demarcated, mapped, and also we reseed them, maybe put in a good grass and water there, so that at the end of the day, animal will just go for a short distance, eat, and then come back.
So what are the biggest challenges you face in terms of conflict resolution? Because these things do get very serious. Sometimes these cattle will intrude into farmers' fields, destroy their crops, and there are sometimes reports that farmers do get angry and kill these animals. I don't know how true that is. Maybe you can help us with that and tell us also as well, what are some of the challenges you face when it comes to, you know, resolution with conflicts like that, conflicts that get that serious and violent?
We have a lot of challenges towards that particular activity, but one of it is the people actually dealing with that particular activity. When you talk about conflict management, you need to get the technique, you need to get the control or understand the people on the ground, and also need to understand the history of the people who are living in that particular area, because they need to tell you this is where the farm stop, this is where the villagers. There are a lot of issues. Like right now we have an issue in CRR. Two of those cases are at the High Court, and then people will try to tell you history that is older than you. But here what we need, these things were not documented. Most of these cattle tracks were not documented in the country. They were identified and then placed in that way, and the community agree. But now we need to identify them and document them, so that at the end of the day, farmers will be able to know, or the community will be able to know this particular area is assigned. And again, the policies, we need to have strong policies that will be able to manage, that will be able to control or implement it on the underground, so that at the end of the day, we can able to. The other one is maybe the lack of management or the poor authority on the ground. We have the alcalos, we have the chief, and people end up selling. Like in West Coast region, Combo Central up to Fonyi, most of these cattle tracks have been sold. So meaning we have that authority problem. People should, under any circumstances, should not sell those particular area. And again, people don't have regard and respect to the authority. You take somebody to the alcalde, he don't care. You tell you, look, this is my land, no matter what, even you go to the governor. Like, people need to understand authority. So there are a lot of challenges. And again, people have different feeling and concept on how to do and manage their issues. So people have the traditional way, people have the tribe issues, the people have even the political issues sometimes. They tell you yes, because maybe you are belonging to this particular ethnic group or whatsoever, so I'm not going to allow you. They are not allowing that person, you are allowing those animals. It's their right. The animal are also paying their tax, they are also Gambian, they are living in this country. So automatically they need to have a place where they can also graze and be sheltered and whatsoever. So people need to leave cattle grazing area to the animal, because in this country we need to have a proper land management system. Thank God now we have the land policy, and we hope that land policy will able to identify each person what you are supposed to do and the area you belongs to.
So have you had any cases that have involved loss of human or animal life?
A lot of cases. When you talk about poisoning of animals, sometimes people who encroach cattle tracks, they have that anger with them. Once your farm is very close to a cattle tracks, sometimes you see people putting poison there. So at the end of the day, if animal eat that poison, they end up dying, and that's bring a lot of problem between farmers and crop. Because if you kill my animal, and it's bring a problem. But all that we are advocating, if somebody animal enter into your crop, the best thing you can do, report to the person to the authority. We have the chief, we have the alcalo. Those people have the right to summon, they have the right to charge, they have the right to do anything. But you don't have right to kill an animal. Last year we have a similar issue at this time in LRR, where a hard man was gunned down by a farmer, which was very serious. And this is why this year we are very alert. We're working with the relevant institution, with the ministry, to make sure that we have a peaceful environment for livestock farmers and crop farmers in this country.
Yeah, so let's talk about water. Is water easily available for the cattle? Because most of these people, they go around for water.
Yeah, Mr. Bande, I think that one I'll start with this point, thanking the government of the Gambia for their effort. Water was our major and biggest problem when it comes to animal drinking point. In fact, during the dry season at that time, most of our animals go to Senegal because we have this reservoir, they call them foras, big one, purely meant for livestock. Then in the Gambia, we have very little. But now, as I'm speaking to you, for the past 10 years, we have a lot of boreholes that were created by donors and the government of the Gambia. Like FAO alone almost dig about 13 to 14 boreholes. Then we have the Small Ruminant Enhancement Project. The project is coming almost to an end. They almost build about 28 boreholes. Then we have P2RS with 2 boreholes. So if you combine all those together, Gambian livestock farmers are benefiting nearly about 46 to 47 boreholes in this country. So we are not saying it's a problem, but like much have been done. And we're still advocating to government. We understand the large project is coming, that's what we call the cattle project. Mr. Bale, that also have a lot of contents of boreholes in it. Once we have that boreholes, definitely to able to ease the issue of animal moving to Senegal or out of the Gambia searching for water.
Okay, so what about pasture during the dry season? Do animals have access to enough pasture during dry season?
In the Gambia, during the dry season, Mr. Bale, is a problem for animals and animal owners. And this is why most of the time, if you go to Nyamina or you go to URR, you see people migrating to Nyamina. Either you go to Nyamina East or Nyamina West, that's where we have the farrows, and then we have a lot of grasses. Because we don't have, in the Gambia we have about 4 months rain season. At that time, right now, you can see the animals are beautiful, they are, they are well fed. And you take them to the market, you can actually have something. And again, you can milk them and then feed yourself, feed other people. But during the dry season, it's a big problem. We have long dry season, all the grasses get dry. And again, it doesn't stop there. Gambians are used to this fire setting. You go to LRR, you go to other region, people just burn down everything. And then this is a very serious calamity to the animal. Because when somebody house burn, people support, people donate. But sometimes when the animals environment is born, nobody consider, and that is they are also stuck for feeding as long as the dry season is gone.
So do you normally organize meetings between farmers and livestock owners? I mean,
I'm glad you asked that.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I was going. We were talking about reaching out to authorities when you have issues, but within them, how do you get them to, exist alongside each other? and prevent conflict?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work, and I think our last sensitization last week, we're not only having the livestock farmers on the ground, we equally invite the farmers themselves, farmer leaders, because in each community you go, you have farmer leaders, and again we invite the authority, and again we have the police. So this is a very good stakeholders meeting where we will discuss about what is to be done, and then the rainy season is coming, we are already in it. What should we do in case we have a conflict between crop and livestock, who should respond? And again, we are trying to train those people from CRR South North and then LRR plus West Coast. That's where we have major problem, so that we can able to sit down with them, Mr. Balde, and this community will be trained how to handle conflict, how to manage, how to talk and approach people. And I think definitely that's very important. Very soon those people will be trained and they'll go back to the grassroots to make sure that they try to address conflict, because it is very important to within the community to have people who are alert, to people who can be referee, so that if you have a problem, they will be able to come and say yes. They have to be there to be the government. So Nalua, we don't wait most of the time to say authority. We feel, believe we are part of the system, and sometimes some of the problem within ourselves we can able to solve and then go ahead.
Yeah, so let's talk about cattle disease. Veterinary services, are they easily available for these cattle?
Yes, there is an improvement. Before, they will tell you it was very difficult. We cannot get 100% availability, but our hope as livestock farmers, we need, anytime we call this veterinary service, they are at our door, or they respond to our need. Sometimes you do call a certain area, it will be difficult like a veterinary person to respond. Because even last week I get a report from LRR, and I think the regional director was communicated who actually have to delegate somebody to go. Either the person who was in that particular area, was moved without the consent of the director, or was sick, or something like that. But I was informed, and when I was informed, the best thing, the fastest thing I do was to communicate to the regional director, who actually responded. So our main objective now, we have more staff at the Department of Livestock Services, so we don't see any issues where a farmer will need extension worker and then there's a delay, because most of them are mobile now, and almost every district and clusters have these extension workers, so it should not be a problem. Though there's a lot of improvement when it comes to disease surveillance, when it comes to respond to farmers, but still we do have some element of complaint, and I think the management of the department will make sure that they fix those gaps to the interest of the farmers.
Yeah, Nabu, it will be important to know whether they are getting enough support. Support is also very important. We understand boreholes. They have boreholes, over 40 boreholes. You talked about 40, yeah?
About 40, yeah.
Yes, about 40 boreholes. But a borehole is not the only support they need. They need other things, access to medicine, access to certain things. I mean, herders will be able to tell you what they need. But are they getting that support from the government?
Yes, as a main farmer advocate, Mr. Balde, I think for the past 10 years, there was a lot of things lacking. But now, for the past 10 years to now, I think we have been seeing a lot of things. Now there is a smile that is coming to our face. Before we were angry, we see that the livestock sector was not actually considered as it's supposed to consider. But with the advent of NALUA, we start telling the authority, this is what we need. We are also part of the system.
Maybe then you were not organized.
Yeah, that's because NALUA came in 2015. 16.
Okay.
So that's about 10 years now.
Yeah, or over 10 years.
10 years now. So when we came, the first thing we advocated was to have a project. Could you imagine? There was no project for the livestock sector. With all the projects that we have under the Minister of Agriculture, it was more of rice and other things. And we are all from the same parents' institution. But what we did as a national body was to advocate, to tell them, look, we also need to have a project. And that is what brought the small ruminants enhancement project. And that project alone have built about 15 drug stores within the country. And they are all equipped. So this is why I say, really, we start smiling now. If we are not smiling, I will definitely tell you, yes, we still need more. But we believe now, in the advance of the cattle project, definitely most of our needs will go down. So we have to use this opportunity to thank the government of the Gambia, because once you start crying, somebody listening to you and then solve your problem, I think definitely you have to say a thank you to the person.
Yeah.
So it was a concern.
The main topic of discussion is farmer had a conflict, but moving forward, is there any specific concern that you would like to see solved in the future?
Yes, livestock production is something that should be a concern to all. Right now, Gambia, what we need for livestock consumption or demand, we don't have it in this country. So it's not only about conflict. People need to invention, even you, I, myself, yourself. we all need to go into the sector to make sure that every person goes in for this livestock production. Most of our youths will prefer to go for farming or do other things, but it is very rare you see youths going in for livestock production. And this is a very good thing, Mr. Bande, because livestock production is the fastest way of getting, whether the rainy season is good, whether at least the rainy season is bad. Once you take care of your animal, you control them, you are there to get something better. So our main thing there, we are leaving this livestock production in the hand of our parents. You go to the old villages, you see animal moving. Sometimes everybody have gone to combo or people have traveled. So even it's very difficult to get a hard man, what we call gynaco. If you need a gynaco now, you'll be mobile in all around, you cannot get it. And we have thousands youth sitting down without a job.
True.
So people need to understand that this is an avenue. Because the smallest thing you can get as a gynaco or hard man, maybe $300 a day, $400 a day. If you multiply that by month, per year, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So like we need to see the youths going in there. And again, the business sector, we need to see them also going in for livestock. Recently we see Jawel going for livestock production, rice production. Equally, we need to see people going for livestock production. Because we need to meet the demand of the Gambian people. So that at the end of the day, we don't need to go to Mali, Mauritania during the Tabaski to bring animal into this. And again, people don't have regard for livestock in this country. When people see livestock, sometimes they are even angry. You see some drivers, even they are driving, they see animal crossing, their intention is just to hit it. And then these are not good. These are animals who are also citizens. They are also living here. Though animal owners should also take care of their animals, especially during the dry season. There's no way seeing animals moving around. Because we are talking about feed, but there is feed. So you don't need to leave your animals go around. Because as a farmer leader, we have to be fair to the farmers too. This is one of the sensitization.
Yeah.
Animal owners during the rainy season control your animals so that your animal will not able to go to somebody's farm. But equally again, the farmer also don't need to encroach on the cattle tracks. If these two people are careful, we don't have conflict.
Yeah. So what about cattle rustling? Do we still have it? Because there was a time the Livestock Owners Association were very wild. I mean, you know, they wage a huge war against cattle rustling. So are we still seeing that?
When cattle rustling is a point. Yesterday our team was in Farato until very late, Mr. Bande. It was raining. If you can hear my voice, I was wet. We have a very serious cattle case there. Yeah, now before people will steal it, bring it to Abuko, that road is not going. What we see now, people will steal, pass somewhere in Brikama, and then go to customers, change those animals, bring them back. So these are criminal activities that are going on. So we'll never relent because they will also try to come out with a lot of ideas. And it is a very serious thing because you cannot see people rearing their goat, their cow, and then at the end of the day, you come from nowhere, pick it, and then go and sell it, and leave that person with zero. You know, actually, we are killing that person. And I think we have to work very closely with the authority. About 3 weeks ago, we visited the IGP, and then we have a very good agreement with them because as long as Nalwa we are concerned, Mr. Bande, we're not going to allow people to steal our animal. And then I have to respect also the association members. Never in a day you see them beating or killing somebody. Sometimes you see in a Facebook people, you know, try to do other things. But again, if we apprehend a thief and take it to them, we want them to take the right procedure
let justice
so that at least justice take place.
So what happened is the other time I was at my end, I was just taking a walk. A nearby compound, I saw a green taxi there. So 2 boys were there. When I saw, and there was an empty land opposite. You have a lot of this livestock in there. So I was seated opposite. Then I faced them this way. They were monitoring my movements, whether I'm going to leave or I'll still be there. So I was there until at some point they couldn't bear it, so they left. So I realized they wanted to steal those livestock there.
In fact, right now it's very common because most of our mothers take this small rumen and start them
outside.
So what they do, they just time because you just have a task, pick it and throw it and then start running. So if the old mama even not far, he cannot case you by another tasky or something. So this is why women are now discouraged of rearing this small animal.
It's really, and you know, Ma'am Nabo, it's really risky. I mean, to steal a goat or a sheep or, you know. I'm telling you, I don't know how they manage to do.
But animals are expensive, Mr. Bande. Because that goat could cost you at the Daral 7,000, 5,000. So if you steal it, you can sell it for 3,000.
Wow.
So that 3,000 can actually, if you are a criminal, can able to foot your bill for the past next 1 week.
Wow.
You can buy your bread and then do your things that you want. So people don't have regard. They always steal to destroy.
Yeah, so we'll do this in the local language. I mean, Ibrahim, I think you're very comfortable with Wolof.
Yes, we'll try.
Yeah, so that Mam Nabu can digest it. Or we do Fula, because Mam Nabu is Fula. A Fula that cannot...
Speak Fula.
Mam Nabu, they would pull, te pull la. Yeah, so Ibrahima ñu ngi la jaajëfal ci sa ñëw bi ñu waxtaan problème yoo xam ne diggante sàmmkat yi ak béykat yi kon dañ bëggoon rek nga si gàttal nga wax ñu yan liggéey ngeen nekk di def pour gis ne ñaari kuréel yi nekk nañ si jaama.
jërëjëf Mr Bande suñu waxee sàmmkat ak béykat ñii moom ñaari nit la yoo xam ne ñoo bokkandee ak baay. ñu yëpp dañ dee nekk ay béykat lañ si réew mi. waaye nag kenn ku ñoom soo leen gisee dafa bugg a pace mooy dafa bugg a am place bu mu war a bee o nga am place boo xam ne foofu nga war a sama sa nag waaye indi Gambia dañu amoon time bu passé da ngaa gis ne amoon nañ place boo xam ne foofu pour béy rek la tam ñu amee yeneen place yoo xam ne foofu saawa la ak nag yoo xam ne foofu la ñu wax grazing land waaye léegi problème bi mooy tool yi dañ dem ba bari boo xam ne léegi people have to encroach fo nit di dugga si grazing land o cattle track bi lii moo dee indi coow bi waaye ñun mosu dañu wax ne dañu bëgg a lappal bu ees o grazing land bu ees lu ñu wax ne mooy suñ lappal boo xam ne suñ maam ñoo ko sampoon léegi people are encroaching we want to make sure we maintain that one lii nag affaire la boo xam ne is bringing a lot of fitna within these West African countries so demee in any other country you see people killing each other di reyante waaye ñun as an association Young Body that was one of our main focus we know Gambia is very small Gambia dëkk boo xam ne is a very peaceful country so duñ mën a allow ne to see the same family boo xam ne they are here because amut benn femme ak béykat koo xam ne amut béy amut nag amut xar boobu amut man nga nekk nag a farmer yeah at least let me make it this way there is no farmer or hardman also koo xam ne du béy because most of the time yow da nga am tos bi foo sa nag bi fu ñu nekk moom is always help you at the end of the day can help you so these are two people that are going together so this is why ñun Nalwa dañu gis ne balaa ñu am meew bi bari ñu am nag yu bari it's better ñu am jàmma and this is why every year we go around to visit the governors the chief the farmers themselves the herders talk waxtaan sometimes with the police ñu gis ne fii suñu réew la and let us try to work things together si nekkee ne béykat bi yàkkana o sama bi yàkkana but there is a alkali that alkali should be respected moom tam mu oo gaay yëpp at least to put a judgment at their level si nekkee moom he cannot do it he can post it to the chief or to the governor and I think we have been succeeding very well for the past 10 years last year rek lañu amoon incident boo xam ne it was a very serious incident boo xam ne béykat dafa jël fetal mu fetal sàmmkat and I think it was a concern to the government waaw dafa dee it was in LRR it was a very serious 17-year-old boy boo xam ne that was a very serious one waaye di moo tax na ñun we are standing as a national body ñu gis ne we become a fair referee to the system we are not only there ñu gis ne ñu support the sàmmkat sometimes you find it very different and very arrogant to the words the sàmmkat because dëkk bi soo bëggee am jàmm rek fu nga wax dëgg bi Mr Balde and this is why Nalwa we are working very hard government tam ñu ngi ñëw léegi because li indi problème bi yëpp from independent to now man mën naa wax ne lu ñu gars yi defoon si béy bi suñ ko defoon si sàmmkat bi tey duñ am problème boobu because suñ saawe yëpp mën nañ ko marqué by now ñu identify and then we can have a very good document waaye loolu amutoon until 2017-18 lañ start to am this convention so da ngaa gis ne loolu definitely is not something boo xam ne is very good because any land need to be marked and identified léegi lañ gis ne sax the government of the Gambia ñu ngi ñëw what we call the land policy land policy bi danga ko war a am long time ago because almost now all the lands are finished within the greater Banjul area so even if you bring a land policy now is contradicting to in other area waaye ñun as a farmer organization we want to make sure we protect sun nag yi fu ñu war a lekkee fu ñu war a naanee fu ñu war a jaar and I think definitely is a good idea boo xam ne ñu yëpp war nañ si participate especially local authority ñu gis ne this is a very good system
nag yi am nañ fu ñu naanee bu doy place bu doy
waaw pour ñu am fu ñu naan place bu doy moom du yomba waaye nag mën nañu wax ne léegi sant nañ yàlla because balaa 2015 bool li ñu amoon fii si Gambia it was very small waaye soo seetee from 2015 ba léegi the government of the Gambia through project ak yeneen they have done a lot because léegi mën nañu wax ne about 42 to 46 bohol are all dig in the Gambia here FAO alone have done about 14 boreholes and then Sumo Rumen enhancement 28 borehole P2RS about 2 boreholes am na beneen project boo xam ne moom dem they have about 3 boreholes but I couldn't also get that data waaye nag loolu soo ko accumulated yëpp Mr Bande you are getting nearly about 40 boreholes the Cattle project bi is coming by December possibly boobu tam dafa am a lot of boreholes in it so ñun lu ñu bëgg rek mooy every district in the Gambia at least nga am ñaari ñetti bohol loolu suñ ko amee rek da ngaa gis ne is going to help the movement of animal to outside the Gambia because bu njëkka ñun bu ñu nekkoon xale da ngaa gis ne suñ nag yi ñu ngay jógee Gambia di dem naan Sénégal because time boobu Sénégal rek ñoo am forage what we call forage animals in that area will come and sometimes they charge Gambian more but now we have lot of boats across the border now it have reversed léegi Sénégalais ñoo dee ñëw fii di naanal seen nag yi but we also treat them the same and then we treat them like we are all the same father because in the Gambia we have what we call the normative transhuman di nga gis ne Sénégal yi jógee from Durenabe ñëw during the dry season while during the rainy season also Gambian herders move to the southern part that is Casamance because the farmer da nga gis ne lands yu ñu am soo ko béyee pour nga ñàkk am fitina fu ñu gis leen yeneen nay sa ñu minus leen and this is why many farmers are moving now to Casamance léegi soo demee Casamance last year demoon naa fa Mr. Bande ma gis yeneen Gambia yoo xam ne ñoom they will never come back to the country léegi dañu dem sampa seen kër sampa seen néeg sampa seen yëpp
te ñoom sama moo leen fa yóbbu
moo leen yóbbu in soo seetee from East Africa it was sama moo ñu yóbbu ba fii most of the pole waaye léegi dañu ñëw ba si ozone bi léegi you cannot go back to ozone so léegi you have to go back to Casamance once your animal have peace most of the Fulanis they are comfortable there so we are losing the human population we are losing the animal products and equally we are losing a lot so li affaire la boo xam ne it's not something that is nice I visited them last year and there's a lot of them who are settled in Casamance.
Gambians?
Yes, Gambian. I went to see the Suprefect and other authorities just to tell them that these are Gambian people, but they are treated well so that they can also have access to their facility like watering point and then also using the environment. Why? Some of them will never come back. And I think, you know, that's another minus for us.
Still we need this animal. Like, in his conversation, coming on a very investment in livelihood, young people coming into livestock rearing in the Gambia. You know, see, Topaskibi. You know, si trade fair bi dama demoon foofu noonu pour cover jaaykat yi xar yu fa nekkoon and they had a lot of concerns. It was so interesting speaking to them and it was like a lot of young people that were selling these ships. You know, they had very deep passion and love for what they were doing, but ñoom concern muñ am mooy ñu ne comme Gambians they don't come to them when they need livestock. They would prefer going outside of the Gambia, Senegal, other areas to get livestock, and it's affecting them because of the amount of money that they spend. You know, the topoto hari, the len johleka, johlen nan. They want to do it, but they are very discouraged. So, how many len muna dimbale dal ngeen lena, you know, push pour ñu talk ci sector bi because amuñ fa young people yu bari way ñu fa nekk tam they are not very encouraged to stay.
Yeah, we work it very hard with them, especially the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency. They are working to make sure they have access to market. While you work for more, you know, in a country that have much, like if you have much, it's easier to get with you. Most of our Gambians, if you look at the price, the way they sell our this jalunke and other thing, definitely the price is a bit higher than those people who are coming. And then in the Gambia, when the things is cheap, people go to the person. So this is one of the things, but it's all because we don't have much. If the Gambian producers can produce enough, definitely we will be able to control the market. But as of now, if you are selling 10, somebody come from Senegal, sell 8 or 5, automatically people rush, and you cannot control the people in town. Still our production is low, and this is why we are encouraging more youths to make sure that they go in for livestock production so that we can meet the demand of the Gambian people.
Léegi faj comme animals yi pour faj leen suñ feebaree loolu yomba na si réew mi.
waaye faj moom du nekkul affaire la boo xam ne dafa yomba throughout because faj dafa expensive waaye nag we can complement the Department of Livestock Services, especially their Director of Health Services. They are doing a lot of good work, Mr. Bande, and I think that is very important. Why not? The most important thing more legi, we have about 15 dog stores in the Gambia. Bunjeka, people do go out of the Gambia in the fight or gender grab. While legi, any border you go, these major borders, we have dog stores. You can easily get the medicine and then go and sell.
Yeah, that's interesting. So da ngeen dee mun a waxtaan diggante béykat yi ak sàmmkat yi.
Yeah, that is a continued event. Suñu waxtaan between the sàmmkat and béykat yi. Si nekkutoon ñun, by now we have a lot of cases in this country. Si nekkutoon NALWA, our advocacy, our consultation, our fair playness within the system, by now we have received a lot of problems at the police station. But most of the time, even kids, when they have problems of this issue, they invite NALWA, we sit down, and then wage the system, because we are there as a referee, not as just a livestock farmers group. But we want to see that we have a very fair play for farmers in this country, be it crop and livestock farmers. And that discussion is helping a lot. And now people are understanding the direction. If you have a problem, definitely you need to go to the chief, you need to go to the alcalde. You don't sometimes need to go to the police in some of these issues at the farm. This is why we have the alcalde, because he's in charge of the village and anything in the village.
True.
So sometimes if you don't listen to the chief or to the alcalde, we end up going to police, we end up going to court. But there are particular cases that should be addressed, Mr. Bande, at the level of the chief, at the level of the alcalde. There are certain issues, the chief don't have business, go to the police and then
they settle it.
But in Nalwa, definitely we are doing a very good work, especially our regional and district livestock owners, LOA. They are doing a lot of work, and the work is voluntary, but we are happy doing it because we've seen the success. Farmers are living together as one country.
Waaye léegi lan ngeen nekk di def pour waxal sàmmkat yi pour ñu moytu bu njaaxal béykat yi.
Ya xam nga béy nekkut. Nga am sa tool liggéey ko ba at certain point nit ñëw yàq ko. Boobu something boo xam ne is not good. And Nalwa ñoom we never encourage because nit loo sa ñàkk moom kenn waru koo jël. Waaye nag béykat yi ñun ak sàmmkat yi ñu lay wax mooy sàmmkat yi ñu sàmm seen nag yi toppatoo leen. Waaye tam béykat yi ñu bàyyi lappol yi ak saawu yi ñu gis ne ñu bañ a fay leen ni waaye most of the cattle tracks in the Gambia most of them laa lay wax de most of them are encroached by béykat léegi si nekkee na yaa ngi bëgg a sàmm fii tool la ba pare ñu encourage ko is getting more tighter pour nga pass foofu noonu automatically rek fu mu dugga si lii waaye léegi béykat yi yaa war a moytu nga xam fii moo lappol bi then every year yaa ngi encourage di dem si yàggee da ngay jeekal some lappol sax in Salum dañu jëm ba jeekal tak encourage ko until now you cannot say nothing boobu bari na so lii affaire la boo xam ne people should also consider because nag yooyu noonu ak béy yooyu noonu ñoom tam si dëkk bi lañ jógee si tund bi lañ jógee ba pare tam ñu ngi fay seen naamo foofu ñoom tam am nañ right pour ñu dem because lappol or saw dafa mel ni highway no matter what you should not get closer or cut the highway so foofu tam dañu am what we call transhuman corridor waroon na am lappol yoo xam ne dañu dugga fi nga dugga Guinea Bissau Casamance nga dem ba Conakry just like this hard way why people are encroaching in the Gambia people like encroaching anything you turn your eyes you don't see anybody at the end of the day Mr. Bande you encroach
and then like what is being done about it because if you can ñu ko def dara génn so dañu continue di ko def rek
this is why we are out as a national body but we cannot do it alone every village every community they have authorities and then interestingly sometimes when I look at the work of our councillors our chairmanship at the grassroots level, this should be their work. Because the livelihood of their people matters. So, but people always concentrate on politics and do other things.
Yes.
We have to talk about the hospital, we have to talk about electricity, we have to talk about the youths, we have to talk about the hard men also, their condition.
Of course.
Why it's not always the department, the ministry and Nalwa that should talk about it. Because almost every compound in the provinces have an animal. So why are they not talking about those animals? Why is also some of the alcaldes are also selling cattle tracks and also giving attestation? So these are some of those issues are above us. This way now government also need to come. People should respect and make sure they maintain cattle tracks.
True.
Because any cattle track that is sold or be given to somebody, it is attested by authority.
True.
Either at the alcalde, the chief, or at any level. We are not authorities, but what belongs to us, we want to maintain it.
Absolutely.
And we cannot do it alone.
Absolutely.
But if you don't do enough there, it may end up bringing conflict. Because this is what happened to other countries. People couldn't do much, Mr. Bande, and they were sitting watching it. We don't want it to be silenced. We want to talk about it, this want to make noise about it, and this is why almost every time we are out, so that people at the end of the day can understand what you are doing. And definitely, last year we are taken to court because somebody encouraged our cattle tracks. And you know, at a point we get what we want. So we are there as a national body to do just we advocate for farmers. But again, we are advocating for peace, and peace is for all of us.
All of us. Yeah, so thank you very much, Ibrahima Jallow, President of the National Livestock Owners Association, for talking to us on QTV this morning. Thank you very much, Ibrahima, for coming.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. And my regard to QTV.
Yes.
Responding and allowing farmers to come and then also give our opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so Mam Nabu, this is all we have for today.
All we have for today.
Yeah, viewers, we'll be back here tomorrow again for another edition of QTV This Morning. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.